Hi, and welcome to A Better Place. As you know, this is our series on love and relationships. However, today we have a very special edition as we speak to a lovely lady from the Department of Statistics. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
It's a wireless system. Cable WTN. Go digital WTN. With local TV channel 10. Call and make a date. 542-5898. Down by overseas building, Ruby and staff waiting. 48 channel, hosting with plenty more coming. News and sports from all over. Novella, Creole and Patois. Local thing is priority soon. Papi Menton, Taki Taki. WTN channel TV 10. We'll always be your friend. Check out the scene, we have the best rate. 542-5898. Hey man! WTN K1.
Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. As I mentioned in the intro, today we have a special edition in store for you as we speak to a lovely lady from the Department of Statistics. Hi, and welcome to A Better Place.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, and how you got involved in the Department of Statistics.
Well, I'm Maurette Antersijn, originally from Curacao, and I work now for the last 3.5 years. I've been working for the Department of Statistics. Right before 10-10-10. I came here from London. I was working there at the time. I've studied statistics in the States, and I worked in different jobs pertaining to analysis. And on a very cold day, I got an email if I wanted to come and reinforce the Department of Statistics on St. Martin, and I said yes. So I've been here ever since. Started out with a big project, the census in 2011, and I'm now working on the household listing survey. It is basically a collaboration between us, the Department of Statistics, and Civil Registry Department. Because of the census 2011, we've seen a big gap between the numbers that Civil Registry has as people registered on St. Martin and the number that we've counted. That's why we had to do the household listing survey to close the gap a little bit between the two departments. We'll never be the same because, you know, you have the registered population and you have the actual population.
Right, because that's what I was going to ask you. When you do for example, when you did the census, you don't discriminate, right? You go in and basically everyone that is living on St. Martin, registered, non-registered, what we would consider illegal as well as legal, are registered in the survey for the census, right?
Yes, as long as you're here 12 months or intend to be here 12 months or longer.
Okay, and that doesn't have any immigration consequences for you if you're not registered?
No, not at all.
Okay,
because
so
we're independent in that sense that we don't share information with any other department in terms of, you know, the taxes, because people think sometimes you come here to look at what I have so you can report that back to tax department. We don't do that. And as you said, your legal status, whether you're registered or not, that is of no concern to us in that sense.
So what is the main concern? And then we'll get back to what you're actually here for the household listing survey. What is the actual concern then when you conduct the census?
In terms of what the people think as concerning, or from what we discovered?
Yeah, what you discovered, and not only that, what is the main purpose of it?
The census is done every 10 years, and that's an actual count of everybody living on your island. It is a population and a housing census. So we get also information on your living accommodation. And that's important so we know, for example, when something happens, you know, how many houses we have that are made, you know, of wood, for example, how many people living in containers. And, you know, so you kind of know if something happens, what kind of damage you can expect. And then we also ask questions we don't usually ask in other surveys. So health-related questions, education and labor-related questions, for example.
So basically the survey gives you a general view as to how the people in St. Martin are living, and also how many people are living on St. Martin, well, the Dutch side of St. Martin.
Exactly. One of the questions we have, why do you need to know how many televisions we have, for example? Well, personally, we don't go and we count like you have 10 TVs in your house. We just want to know if you have any. That's an international measure of how developed a country is. That's just the basic, purpose of it. How many, mobile phone usage and internet usage, because you want to be able to compare yourself, against maybe in America or the European countries. You want to compare yourself and make sure that, are the people on St. Martin developed and are getting what they need to get so they can compete in the world.
Do you get to go into the really disadvantaged neighborhoods?
Yes.
And how do the people receive you when you go there?
That's one of the best neighborhoods to go in. I know people sometimes think that it's going to be more difficult. No, they are the most inviting people to actually interview. And I have some interviewers basically, I wouldn't want to say fighting, but they really ask us for these areas. Because they will go in and they will get invited inside. The neighbors will come and they will be told like, hey, these people that came here to do a survey, go get your information so you could help them out. They get fed, they get offered drinks.
Right.
And it's, the more affluent areas where we have the most problems.
Okay. But do you think that by having this census, and especially my concern is for the disadvantaged neighborhoods, do you think that the census can be of a help to them in terms of making their situation better?
It will, I think it helps everybody in the sense that it does expose where we are lacking. So it does expose like areas where, the street lighting is bad, where they have problems with sewage water, where they have potholes, a lot of problems with potholes or stray dogs, theft. All of that is things that we ask in the census itself. Now for this particular survey, the household listing survey, it's very basic. It's 5 questions. It will take a family of 4. I've seen it take maybe 3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
That's how fast it goes, because
Right.
it's only 5 basic questions. We ask your age or your birth date. We ask the country where you were born, your country of nationality, and whether or not you registered at a civil registry. And that's it.
Okay. How long have, you said that this is a joint effort between the civil registry and the Department of Statistics.
Yes.
Because of the gap you see between your numbers and their numbers.
Yes.
So when did you decide that this was necessary for this to be done? How soon after you did the census in 2011 did you realize this?
Well, when we did the census, it was in April 2011. We did that with CBS Curaçao because it was just between the transition, so they helped us a lot. So once the census was done here, we had to wait for Curaçao to finish their processing so they could help us process our data. So that, that took us to about the end of 2011. At that point, due to circumstances, we decided we wanted to process the data ourselves. So when all that was done, we realized we have a gap. So what do we do about that gap? The gap has always been there because of how our setup is. We have very, like say, open borders. And in terms of, immigration rules and whether or not you write out at the civil registry when you leave the island, that's all things that have been adding up over the years. So now the gap is now that big that we need to do something about it. So before we publish our census results, which are ready, but before we publish them and make them official, we need to understand, that gap, can it be explained? Because right now we're just guessing. We know the problems, so we know what can add up, but then how much is it?
Okay. Well, when we come back from our break, we're going to talk more about your household listing survey and what it means. Because, like I said, I was not at home when they came, but the housekeeper, she showed me the paper, and I read it, but then I just, put it aside, and I didn't really pay any mind to it until, I was asked to interview you.
Yes.
So when we come back from the break, we'll discuss exactly in detail what is the household listing survey.
Okay.
Stay tuned, we will be right back.
The St. Martin Promoting Young Ambassadors Foundation proudly presents its 5th anniversary St. Martin Interscholastic Idol Competitions on Saturday the 12th of April 2014 at the Port de Plaisance tent at 7 p.m. Come out and witness all primary and secondary schools in the solo competitions. On Sunday the 13th of April 2014, we'll have the choir competitions of the primary and secondary schools at the Port de Plaisance tent at 3 p.m. Tickets are available at Van Dorp in Madame Estate and Simpson Bay. Don't forget, on the 12th of April 2014, the primary and secondary school solo competitions, and on the 13th of April 2014, the choir competitions. Come out and support your favorite schools.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. So, Maurette, we were talking about, the census, how that ties in with what you're doing now. For the viewing audience who may not have been approached as yet by the persons working in your department, can you explain exactly in more detail now what is the household listing survey?
Yes. Well, the household listing survey is very simple. It is what the name said, it's a household listing. So all we want to know is in this household, how many people are living there, and then for the sake of having to explain the difference between us and the civil registry, your birth date and your country of birth and whether you registered. So we have that distinction between this is the registered population in terms of you registered by the civil registry, and this is the population who actually live on St. Martin. Because you would expect normally that the people, the number that Department of Statistics will count in the census would be higher than civil registry has, because we don't discriminate in terms of registered or unregistered. In this case, it's just the opposite. So we need to be able to explain that gap. Is it because it's people who have left to go maybe study in America? Because then you don't, there's no obligation for you to go to civil registry and write out. That only happens when you go to the Netherlands or a country in the Dutch Kingdom.
Right.
So that adds up over the years, like that person is still written in by civil registry, but they don't actually live here anymore. And you also have people, for example, whose contract expired, and maybe they left, but they never went to civil registry and say, I'm not here anymore. And then you have the people who live maybe on the French side, but work here, or the people who live here, but then work on the French side. It's because that open border, you just never know. You could be living on the French side and registered here on the Dutch side.
Okay.
So all that adds up, and that explanation we need to explain, which is why we do the household listing survey. So it is important for everybody to participate, because if they don't, we're always going to have that discrepancy. We also always going to have questions. And I think as a country now, where we basically responsible for ourselves, and we need to come up with policies to support ourselves, we need to be accurate enough that we could make good and valid decisions.
But since you said it's almost just like the opposite to the census, what you're doing now, don't you think that persons who are not registered might be more reluctant then to participate?
They're not. Honestly, our experience is that they are not. Okay. Because, the areas where you would expect to find these people, they are not the areas where people, either blatantly refuse when, the interviewer approaches them, no, I don't want to give you my information, or get off my property. They're not the area where you see the person home and you call it, you see them looking at you, but they don't open the door, they don't come to you. That's not where we find that problem. It's basically, certain areas, like we have problems in Bel Air, we have problems in Billy Folly and Pelican and in Lowlands, where people just basically not open their doors.
Interesting, because I would think that maybe those who were not registered, but then again, you have persons who live in these areas who are not registered as well. So maybe it can be those that are refusing to open their doors as well.
You know, St. Martin is small. So, you know, interviewers have been doing this over the years, so they kind of know, you know, who's there. So when they come back and tell me, you know, these types of stuff, it is not the unregistered.
Right.
It is not. You know, it's maybe, you know, a doctor and a lawyer, you know.
Right.
Those people that basically say, no, I'm not participating. Basically, I don't care.
Wow. But that's sad because you're part of the population.
Exactly.
And you're living here, you hopefully are contributing, you're paying your taxes. And I mean, what can it hurt to give this information if it's just to find out what the population is and, you know, the accuracy of the numbers that you have?
Exactly. And we don't ask I guess the most personal we get is your age. That's the most personal we get. We don't ask your name.
About our age.
I think so. I mean, I like my birthday. So we don't ask your name or anything like that. So
not even names?
Not even names, no. As I said, we just want to explain the difference, that's all.
And is there a time set? So when did you start? And do you have a date set when you're supposed to be finished? And when will you be providing this information, if this information is provided to the entire public after?
It will be. As usual, we do all the surveys we do. The information is there. We put it on the website. We publish it in the paper, so the information is there. As I said, we don't share information, so it's all in statistics form that we do that. It started on the 1st of February, and we want to finish before Good Friday. Okay. We don't want to go into the carnival period because it just gets more difficult to reach people. So we're trying to get that finished by April.
And if I may ask this question, how many people do you have out of the top of your head that are registered right now?
We've never asked.
Oh.
We've never asked. So as a Department of Statistics, we don't know because it doesn't matter to us. If you live here, it means that you're using the roads. It means, you know, you're using utilities. So it doesn't matter to us whether you register or not.
But that's, well, I guess maybe I phrased the question in an incorrect manner. What I meant to say is, how many people do you have surveyed as living in St. Martin that you can actually put a count on? Not necessarily registered or not registered, but in total, when you have all of those together.
Well, right now we are about 55% done, and we have about 18,000 people counted right now.
18,000.
Yes, and that's just because we're interviewing everybody. If you're staying in a villa, or you're staying by a friend's house and you're only here for 6 months or 3 months, we're interviewing you as well. So it's important for us to know the distinction between the different type of populations that we have on St. Martin. We are a tourist island,
right?
So it's important for us to know, these are long-term residents, these are registered, not registered, short-term residents. That's what we're trying to put, in a picture.
So you have right now 18,000. Yes. What is the number? Or you said you don't know, right? You don't know what is the current amount of persons that the census have registered.
I know from 2011 that it was about 55,000.
55,000.
Yes, that's 2011 because we compared that with the census during that time. It was 55,000 and they were much higher than us.
Okay. All right, well, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up. We'll be in our last segment of the program, and we'll discuss the importance of persons actually cooperating with you. And also, I want to ask you how many people are working with you and how you got, that number. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It all came from one man's love for chicken and his secret recipe. Thanks to Colonel Sanders, today we can enjoy a new sandwich. The Boss from KFC. The best original Sanders sandwich ever. Now his original recipe of 11 herbs and spices is in the chicken, in the sauce, and sprinkled right on the bun. It's the best of KFC in every bite. That's why the boss is the boss. So good.
When I say Xerox, I know what you're thinking. Transit fares! As in the 37 billion transit fares we help collect each year. No. Oh, right. You're thinking of the 1.6 million daily customer care interactions Xerox handles, or the 900 million health insurance claims we process. So it's no surprise to you that companies depend on today's Xerox for services that simplify how work gets done, which is pretty much what we've always stood for. With Xerox, you're ready for real business.
The Learning Unlimited Seniors presents their fundraising 8K run and walk on Sunday, April 13th at 7 a.m. The race starts and finishes at Baby and Kids near the Grand Marché Shopping Center on Bush Road. Come out and support the Learning Unlimited Seniors in their aim to raise some funds. The registration starts at 6 a.m. with an admission fee of $10. Come out and support the Learning Unlimited Seniors with their 8K run walk on April 13th.
Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. Okay, Maurette, so we're in the final segment of our program, and I wanted to ask, how do you get the persons involved in conducting the survey? Are they people that work with you, or are they volunteers? How do you choose these people?
Well, from the group that I'm working with now is 25 interviewers, of which 4 of them we've selected especially to do, let's say, the assisted living, for example, collective dwellings such as the prison. I mean, everything needs to be counted, and also like gated communities or big apartment buildings. Mm-hmm. So I have 4 people that are doing that, and I have 21 that are doing everything else. Okay. So we've divided St. Martin into 21 different areas, each with about 1,000 households, between 800 and 1,000, and everybody is charged with their particular area. So every week, they will come in once, twice, sometimes even 3 times a week, and they will give us the information that they've collected, and we then evaluate that, make sure that they finish what they need to finish, and then give them a different set of streets to work from. So there are some people right now who say, oh, nobody has come by me yet. That's true, because we're going systematically, you know, street by street, basically. Right. So we will get to everybody.
And the persons working, are they volunteers? How do you choose them?
We've worked with most of them for years already. They've been doing this for years already. And some of them have, I said during the census, for example, they worked for us during the census and they did a very good job. Everybody always gets trained, not only on the survey itself and the question itself, but we also do a communications day. They always get at least 1 or 2 days of communications, so that they know, you know, how to handle people, right, how to, you know, gain people's confidence. You know, that's important, because I mean it's how professional.
To handle those who are going to tell you, get off of my
exactly.
property.
I mean, you need to not let it get personal.
Yes, yes.
And that's something big. I know I can do it. So
you can't?
I can't do it.
No?
No.
Why?
I take it personal. I'm like, why? I'm just coming to ask you a few questions. Why are you being mean?
Right.
So you just have to know to, like, you know, I guess live like a duck, let it go, and then move on to the next one. Right. Pleasantly, because you can't take your frustrations with you. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I can imagine, because it's practically you're in customer service. You know, you're going to get all types of customers, and you have to deal with them on an individual basis.
Exactly, and everybody needs to get the same type of service.
Way.
Yes.
Okay, so you said up until now you've basically covered about 55%.
Yes.
So you have still 45% to go.
Yes.
And do you think you'll be able to achieve the 100% that you're looking at? Your goal?
We're striving for that, and yes, I want to, because I want to be able to justify, you know, even the people that we don't get, because we're never going to speak to everybody. Because, you know, some people are off island, for example, or some people sometimes you're just never home. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, I get home in the middle of the night. I'm not sending my interview was the middle of the night. Right. So I'm never going to speak to everybody, but I can at least account that, yes, I've been to you, you know, 2, 3, 4 times, and you're just never there. Mm-hmm. You know, so I need to be able to justify that. And then, you know, statistically, we will all make that 100%. But then at least I know for a count, yes, somebody's supposed to be living there. I just never spoke to them directly. Okay. So yes, we're striving for the 100%.
Okay, and you said census was 2011.
Yes.
So you're going to have the next census 10 years from
10
so
years from now.
2021.
Yes.
Okay. Did you see quite what you should have seen in 2011 compared to what was it, 2001?
Yes.
A big difference in terms of numbers and what you got in for the statistics?
No. It
No?
actually, it doesn't grow. It doesn't grow as fast, I think, as people think. If you're talking 40, 50 years ago, yes. St. Martin grew, you know, with big leaps then. But for the last like 30 years, we always saw it somewhere between, you know, the 30 and the 36,000 people.
Really?
Yes. From then on, it didn't really grow that much. Not like it used to. And we're
That's
just saying
strange
this.
because, you know, you see so many, you see an influx of, you know, the various nationalities. And I'm also assuming that that number that they have as the number of different nationalities living here is something that they gathered from the census, right?
Yes.
And what exactly is that number right now?
Well, I can tell you the 2011, but
Right.
it is around 80. It is around 80
So
different
where did they get the
nationalities.
120 different nationalities from?
Well, it really all, because it depends if you're talking nationalities, if you're talking countries. Because somebody could be Dutch nationality, but it could be different countries.
Okay, right.
So, you know, it depends what you're talking about. So
Okay,
if you're
so I
talking
guess we're
countries,
talking
yes.
countries then.
Yes, then that number, it is
It's
somewhere
accurate
around there. Yes.
about 120 different countries.
Yes.
Or some countries.
Yes. So yeah, that's a difference between there.
Okay, so you said you're almost done. You are working in collaboration with the census, the civil registry, and when you're finished compiling your information, that information will be made known to the public.
Yes, yes. We always make it known. You know, we have people coming in the office all the time just asking questions, and we have information there. Twice a year, we publish a Factors magazine where we write articles on surveys that we've done. We have our own website that you can always find information on.
And what is the name of your website?
www.stat.gov.sx.
Okay.
And they could call us 5490235. You know, even only to ask information, but also, you know, somebody has come by me, like, you know, left a yellow card,
Right.
and I just need to call, you know, call and make an appointment, and
Right.
we can arrange that.
Okay. Well, Maurette, I want to thank you for having been a part of A Better Place. As you know, this program is about educating families and the general public on matters that are of concern in the society. So thank you once again, and
No
I hope
problem.
that you do get the cooperation from everyone living here.
Thank you very much for having us, and yes, I do hope that we can get this done in time.
Okay. And to you, the viewing audience, I would like to thank you for having been a part of A Better Place. Stay tuned for future programs. I am your host, Angelique Rameau.